Hi, Rawnaq. How are you doing? You right?
I'm very well. How are you, Adam?
Good, good. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Very well.
I'm really happy to be here with you. It's been a long time since last time we met in the course. Thank you very
Yeah,
much for inviting me to your platform.
no, you're very welcome, and I'm happy for you to be on the podcast. And it's nice to see you again because I think like
Thank
last
you.
time we saw each other was a couple of years. I think it's 2 years ago.
Two
Two or
years
so.
ago, yes.
It was roughly this
Time
time. Too.
flies.
Yeah, it's crazy. But but yeah, like because we met on the coaching course, and then you're now like a coach.
Yes.
So like,
Coaching families. I started coaching with children, age 5 to 11, back into 2012, and then I moved to coaching one-to-one, and then family coaching. And when the lockdown began in UK, London, I started to coach mainly family because that's what I felt there is a need for it. So
mm, mm.
how to transform houses into homes, chaos into orders.
Yeah, no, that's great, and I think like that is it's much needed, isn't it? Like especially with what's been happening, people are
Mhm.
more with their family more, and there's going to be tensions as well, isn't there?
A lot of tensions because you want your own space. Suddenly you found yourself locked 24 hours, 7 days with whether you have kids or not.
Mm,
We need our space on beside the news, beside all the what's going on, the worries. When you have family, when you have specifically when you have children, not only you end up with the worries of parenting, also the homeschooling and the skills of homeschooling, and all this overwhelming. So I found myself kind of responsible that, okay, I can do something. And I started doing live streaming, like in my platform in Instagram, how to harmonize our home, how to transfer our houses into homes,
mm.
giving ideas, examples, just to make things easier for everybody, for families, for individuals to come over this difficult time.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and I think it's really nice that you was able to kind of improvise and then kind of flip around what you was doing and like say focus on families and help families with the current situation because you think like especially a lot of families probably depending on where they live probably can't take their kids to certain places or they haven't got a garden so they might be stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen a lot of, like, in the news and social medias. I mean, there are different ways you can see all the positive
Mm,
stories, how people came together, how families, how individuals came together, spreading
mm.
kindness. And also we saw domestic violence. Domestic violence
Yeah.
increased during the lockdown specifically. And obviously, because of all this worries, as I mentioned, and the frustrations, all the pressure. So how can we deal with it?
Mm,
Um, it's it's very simple. If well, the way I began my coaching is to find the values, the common values, find family vision, starting to work together with the basics. As you know, Adam, we have intrinsic values and
mm,
acquired values. Intrinsic values that's related to is part of our souls, which is
mm,
love, peace, and also acquired values, which is coming from culture, background, the society we live in. So how do we use those values and activate it in our life and make it part of our living? So
mm.
once we live our value, that's when we become our best. That's where we achieve and be happy. be happy with
Mm.
whatever we're doing. And this is actually the key of how to find kind of the connection, how to
Yeah.
be connected first with yourself, because you cannot connect with others if you don't
Mm.
connect within. You need to
Yeah.
start within and find your voice, find your authentic self. And then when
Mm.
you find your authentic self, and start, especially from the love space, you can give, and you can decide. You can, in fact, when you are activate, or when you act on your values, and
Yeah.
when you are connected to your authentic self, then you can overcome difficult situations. You can decide, make decisions in a critical decisions. It makes
Mm.
decision easier to make. So all these, it's not difficult, but once you know it, and you know how to use it, it makes a huge difference. We see nowadays many houses who is like a shelters with walls, and many individuals, they call it as a family, but they are in different worlds.
Mm.
They are not connecting. There is no conversation between them.
Mm.
There is no common ground. There's something
Sensation
missing.
interaction.
Absolutely. So how do you make this house a home? It's, as I said, we start with the values.
Mm.
Find values that connect those individuals. Mission for this family. Um, Once you have this, then you try to find the quality times you spend with your kid, even if it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, but it is quality time.
Mm.
There are many ways of expressing this quality time, whether it doesn't matter whether you have a garden, or you living in a small space in a flat.
Mm.
It doesn't matter. Quality time, you can sit with your child, or sit with your spouse, or whoever you are living with, and have a conversation, ask a question, ask quality questions, because when you ask a quality question, you get a quality result.
Mm.
And once you connect and try to find, like, either you playing time,
Mm.
play time, or ponder on something, or for example, find a topic, interesting topic,
Yeah.
and you
Mm.
discuss that topic. Cook together,
Mm.
draw together. You go in the park and ponder around nature, and have
Mm.
this, very nice, positive energy.
Experience. Yeah.
And that actually helps to be open up, and to, because the environment also helps to have this extra kind of connections. And
Mm.
take those moments and try to connect with your family, whether kids, as I said, or your friends, anyone who's close to you.
Mm.
You don't need much. It's just be conscious about it and make
Yeah.
effort. So these simple things, and I began with this explaining, for example, how to do the exercises of how to find our values, and
Mm.
how to apply our values in our life. Also, I started to teach how to make gratitude rituals,
Gratitude
and
list. Yeah.
gratitude. And how do you express it? How do you teach gratitude to kids, to individuals, and it becomes part of our daily ritual routines. These things, it makes a really big difference.
Mm.
And I would say those are the keys for transforming uh, houses into homes.
Family. Yeah. No, I think that's really great work, and I think, like you said, you have to bring it back to the person and their, like you said, your your values and what's going on inside, to be able to connect with someone else. Because if you're not tweaking that or fixing that, it's going to be a bit of a struggle. And like you said, going out for a walk somewhere if possible, doing things, going for a walk, being around nature helps. I've been in the garden a lot more. I find it very grounding. Try and go somewhere, like I said, a park or somewhere. And that then, like you said, brings that conversation kind of naturally when you're with somebody, because you're starting to think about what's going on around you, and it just kind of comes to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really important.
In fact, Adam, you are expressing and you discuss values through doing stuff. When you implant, for example, if you go to the garden and you try to implant something, or you try to do simple things, activities together, you actually discussing values, and you are start living it without teaching it. It's indirect teaching. And what I noticed as well, I noticed people under stress or crisis or under pain, they escape through other ways, either excessive drinking or dieting. And you've seen it in social media. There's chocolate and the habits of eating, to this emotional eating, emotional habits to ease the pain. Basically, this is escape instead of coming to themselves and trying to use the pain to print a success, or to learn from it, or to make, or to connect with themselves. Not escaping by over drinking or overeating, or excessive shopping, for example, because they feel comfort in that. There are so many, even the drug addicts, part of drug addicts, it's escape from that pain, escape from reality. So when we acknowledge the pain or a difficult time or crisis, and really face it, be courageous, face it, ask quality questions. What makes me happy? How can I truly transform myself? How can I connect with myself for me to be able to connect with others? Once you find the answer, or for those questions, and once you connect with your authentic self, trust me, this is the beginning. This is the beginning when you become your best self, and you will start making difference. And just remember, I always say, make your mess a message. Make it a message that have a ripple, an effect on others in a positive way. So it's nothing new, but simple things sometimes, when you are aware of it, it makes a huge difference for somebody else.
Yeah.
So.
No, massively. I massively agree. I think, like you said, with the whole situation, people look for outlets for how they feel, if that makes sense. Like what you said, drinking, smoking, drugs, eating, buying things. And I noticed it very vividly going to the supermarket, people panicking. I mean, yeah, people were panic buying because they thought everyone was going to close down and things were going to run out. So people were just like in the react mode and panic buying. And I saw a lot of people buying alcohol, and I was like, you're gonna drink all that yourself? And like you said, if people tune into their internal dialogue and what's going on with them, and going through the motions and pushing through what's happening, and going through that discomfort, instead of trying to cover it by doing something else and distracting yourselves. I think we've all kind of dealt with it in our own way, the whole situation. We're all different. I know that, I think for me, I like chocolate, and I remember buying lots of chocolate to begin with, and I was like, why am I doing this? So it's that balance, isn't it? It's that balance with everything. But you need to face what's coming up for you.
Absolutely. what you just said is so true. Balance, it's when we balance things. Obviously, I like chocolate. I feel comfortable. It's a pleasure when I eat chocolate. You know, this hormone, the pleasure hormone. It is natural. We want it, but balance. When if we use it to escape, this is another story. But the thing that I also noticed, like now in the society, the anger, and probably a few days ago, you heard the stabbing, you know, the three
in the
who
park,
died
yeah.
from, yes, in the park. All these reactions, and we see here, obviously, if we are not acknowledging, and if we're not seeing the elephant in the room, how can we sort out or address the issue accurately? One of the things that really, one of the reasons actually I chose coaching, or I found myself, you know, being a coach, is my concern in 2012 when I saw this friction in the society, and this is actually friction is growing. You see, society within society, community, a ghetto within a community. The fraction is so scary that is, if we really don't find a common values that hold all society together, we will see more of these you know, kind of stabbing, anger, fear, because this is all coming from fear. We need common dialogue. We need a dialogue that is kind of cross-culture. I would call it cross-cultural dialogue, who is based on universal language. Universal language can be expressed by music, food, can be expressed by poetry, you know, nice words, love. All these are universal languages. So all these aggressions, all these angers, it's coming from fears, and it's growing. Is it growing? So it's good to address, to see the problem, to, as I said, see the elephant in the room, not ignoring it. Because if we ignore it, more and more and more of these things we'll see it in our days, every day. So finding a common values, trying to integrate in the society through events, like social events. Here, the coach's job comes, and they need to work on that bit, because if you really want to have an impact or a change in a society, you really need to address the issues of this society. I mean, it's a great. I love Britain. I mean, for me, I feel the values. I live in this value, British values, and I you know, I teach it as well. But what I mean is, because of especially the last few years, a lot of immigrants. And by the way, I fled from Iraq. I left Iraq because of the war. And you know the story. I So I came for, you know, to settle, to have a family in peace and loving society who accept differences and accept tolerance, and beautiful. Because I mean, wherever I go, I feel London is my home. Okay. But because recently a lot of immigrants came here, and obviously what I noticed, maybe I can be wrong, you can correct me, Adam. You can correct me. I found they kind of becoming more in close to each other. There is no integration. There is no work. We need more work towards integrating between the culture, the different culture, the different
cultures.
When we have this a cross-cultural dialogue, the fear will be, because you will know the other parts. Okay, so that will help a lot. But obviously all starts from home. Started from home. So if we build home that is higher value, love, peace, and compassion, and all kindness, and work on it, obviously that will make a difference bit by bit.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I think like that feeling supported is a big thing, isn't it? Because I think, like you said, with these incidents that keep on happening, I mean, the things that are hard to address are these lone wolf attacks, because that one that happened recently was a lone wolf attack. And the thing is with that, it could be anybody. And if it's in groups and they can track certain people, which they do, then it's a lot easier. But, they could get somebody who's radicalized, they're a lone person, no one knows where they are, who they are, and they can just come out one day and do something like they did the other day. And we've seen that numerous times. And I think, it goes back, like you said, to the family, to that person, what's happened to them. Why have they felt that anger? What's happened in their family? Like you said, the family. If they're feeling not valued or unimportant, they're going to try and seek that somewhere else. And that's like these groups, maybe they get a sense of belonging. I was in a group of lads at school, and you feel like you belong. You want that sense of belonging. And then he's probably done that. And like you said, people need to feel like they belong at home. They need to feel like they're valued. Otherwise, they're going to be angry, going to be upset, and they might try and seek that in other areas, which are, brainwashing people, basically.
Wow, you just said, you mentioned the sense of belonging.
Yeah.
This is really, you put your finger on the spot. This is amazing.
Yeah.
The feeling of belonging, it's that's where when you feel belong to to a group or to society, then you can be productive. You can be, you will be acting completely different. So yes, I absolutely agree with you. The sense of belonging, one of the things that we are missing, I think, in the society. But no, not everybody. I'm just saying.
No.
I'm trying to explain why this aggression, why this
anger,
of course. Why this specific behavior or this particular behavior. Could be any reason, but because initially at home they didn't get this love and probably this conversation and the sense of belonging. So everything starts from home.
It's so important, isn't it? And like you said, you can see why people might experience mental health problems, because they might be stressed at home. They might not get on with their friends. They might not get on with their family at home. They might, they're spending more time with them, so there's more stress. Like I said, domestic violence, abuse, that happen. Like I said, it's going to increase because people are at home. And it's a difficult situation that, like you said, people need to come together and feel that, belonging and that love at home, because you feel like a better person if you've got that. I think it's it's one of our needs, isn't it? We need to have a roof over our heads. We need to feel safe, and if you can't feel safe in your own home, then it's not overly.
It's not home.
Yeah.
It's not home. It's not home, because part of being at home is when you feel safe. You feel yourself. You're comfortable. It's your heaven. It's your refuge. Home is actually your refuge. And that's the difference between being at home and or just being in a house. But I just remember I'm recalling something. When I used to diagnose people with multiple myeloma cancer,
Right.
I used to think this is the ultimate kind of calamity, or it's kind of the hardest illness that anyone can get. But then when I began kind of my social life changed with my new work, I discovered no, actually, that there are much harder, more difficult, how to say, there are more illnesses that hit us, the human being, which is much more difficult than cancer or chronic diseases. And those are heart disease. Heart disease, when your heart becomes so black, so solid, it cannot feel, or it's not like you're not connected to a human being. You're not to humanity. You're not. It's not beating as it should be. This is the hardest disease that any human being can get, and that's when your heart become kind of numb. Absolutely, thank you. You can hurt others. You can you be distracted. You can do anything. So I just realized that actually cancer maybe can be a blessing. I've seen it. It can be a blessing. It turns many individuals into very good people, change their life, obviously in a hard way, but it's made them, I don't know, it changed them for the good.
I think
the family came together. I've seen many stories when people had multiple myeloma. Their families become together. They well connected, tight knit, and so it was eventually a blessing for them. But when I saw another side with people with this hardening and this numbness, you see, oh my God, no, this disease is much harder. This disease, you don't want that disease. So coaching and so I coach hearts, how to cleanse the heart. One of the courses I did is how to coach the heart, how always connected and be intuitive and see the messages through the heart, because the more you cleanse your heart, the more you can see light. You can see more things in depth. So I can talk a lot about the heart, so maybe it's better not to start with the heart, because this is where I started actually. Is how to cleanse the heart. And
no, I think, like you said, it's really important to address that, isn't it? Like how people feel in the, like you said, the heart, because some people have had bad experiences and things have happened and they've just gone, become numb through life, and just built up this kind of attitude and this mindset, like, and don't feel, and I think we need to feel as human beings. And I think, like, with social media and the internet, it's kind of like cut off people from connecting, like you said, like at home, in the home especially, people might be on the phones more, they might not be talking as much in person because they're on laptop or TV or whatever. And like I said, having a heart and being able to tune in and feel, isn't it?
We only need 20 minutes to 30 minutes to have a quality time. It's fine to have your own time with your social media, because this is the platform we can use it in a positive way as well. But most of the things now through social media, and we need to be connected, but if we spend quality time every day, that's when we can make a huge difference.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. But no, I think we've definitely covered some really good topics, and it's really, really, like, a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Thank you very much for inviting me to your podcast.
No, you're very welcome.
And it's good. it's good to catch up again with you. It's been, I mean, 2 years passed so quickly. I can't believe how time flies.
It's scary.
Yeah, let's keep
But
in touch.
no, yeah. Well, no, but not lovely to talk to you again. And I think, you know, I agree with what you said. And I think they're really, really great topics. And I think, you know, you're doing a great job in what you're doing in your work as well. You know, bringing
Thank you.
families together and helping people through this time.
Thank you.
No, you're
Hopefully
welcome.
in the future, when we do events for more social things, for cross-cultural dialogue, you will be invited.
Yeah, no, of course.
Once the
I'd be happy.
lockdown is over and you know we'll be safe for social for socializing.
Yeah, no, I'd be happy to go to it. I'd really appreciate it.
Great. Thank you very much for today.
No, you're very welcome.
Best of luck. Thank you.
You too. All the best. Take
Thank
care.
you.
All
Take
the
care.
best.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.